Hello, thank you so much for coming back to join me for this week's beauty throwback. So today I have products from the Crown Brush website, and all these are ones that I purchased in their sell section. I have stuff from the Go To Beauty, which I think is kind of like a sister company, or they still make it, but I actually do have like Crown Brush, but all these were purchased on their website. So if you'd like to see almost a full face of Crown Brush makeup, then please keep on watching. Like it says, I do upload a daily video all about budget beauty, so make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, you can bookmark the page. That way you don't miss out on the daily uploads. Okay, so I love Crown Brush's website. They always are having sales going on. They have hair brushes, makeup brushes, all sorts of stuff. I picked up a ton of palettes. I mean, these are the ones that I picked to use, but I've got tons. I've got tons and tons of palettes and stuff from them, and these were all super affordable. Their discount center page is amazing with so much stuff, but I am going to be using their 10 color powder contouring palette. I have a Beach Glow highlighting palette. I have a Modern Fairy Tale eyeshadow palette. Then I also have an Exposed 2 blush palette. So I already have brows done, foundation, concealer, powder. So let's just go ahead and get into this. I'm excited, but anyway, so here we go. Let's go ahead and start with the eyes. I guess we'll just start with the eyes. Like I said, I had a ton of different eyeshadow palettes to choose from, but this one, I don't know, I wanted to use this one, but I've swatched this, like just this one shade, but I haven't actually tried it, but it comes with a little mirror. I think you get 12 shades, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 shades, excuse me. These are supposed to be like dupes for other palettes. If I'm looking at this, this kind of reminds me of the ABH Modern Renaissance, is that what it's called? Some rosy tones, but it's very much a neutral palette. But I'm excited to try it. Okay, I got a whole thing of clean brushes. I am excited, but let's just go ahead and get started with a nice transition shade. I think I'm going to go ahead and start with this shade right here. Let's see how powdery this is. Some kick up, definitely, but a lot of it is sticking to the brush. But let's go ahead and try this. Seems pigmented, it's blending easily. Very nice. I mean, blended easily, and I think it looks great. Okay, this is actually from their website as well, this really nice little brush. Okay, let's go ahead, and I think I'm going to dip into this one shade that I did swatch. It's a little bit rosy. We'll go ahead and start putting this into the crease. Whoa, okay, that one has a butt ton of kick up. A ton. That means it usually has a ton of talc, a lot of filler. And it's not as pigmented as I thought it was going to be. I mean, there is pigmentation, don't get me wrong, but it definitely doesn't have as much as I thought it was going to have. Okay, I'm going to use that same brush. I'm just going to deepen up the crease just a little bit. The darkest shade in here seems to be this kind of muddy mushroom brown. I don't know how else to describe it. But let's see how this one looks on the eye. This one does seem to be a little bit more firmly packed. Just putting some on the tip, and I'm putting this directly into the crease. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use that same shade on my inner corner. It looks much deeper out of the pan. It doesn't look muddy. Definitely is a nice medium deep brown. I'm going to go with that darker brown, and I'm going to go ahead and just put some on my lower lash line. Okay, so there are quite a few nice looking shimmers in here. It looks like we've got 4 shimmers, the rest are matte. So let's go ahead. Guess I'm going to use this pretty gold shade right down here. I'm just going to use my finger. It's very soft. It looks pretty. It's definitely not as metallic looking on the eye. Okay, I mean, I think that looks nice. I'm going to go ahead and use the little light pink shimmer right above it for the inner corner. Okay, that one's a little bit more pigmented, a little bit more frosty. Okay, very, very nice. I'll leave my final thoughts on the stuff until the end of the video, but let's go ahead and move on to the contouring palette. So this is a plastic container, so it looks nice. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of contouring. I think I'm going to use this shade right here. Looks cool toned. Just going to go ahead and just pick some up on my brush. Do you hear contouring's coming back in? I'm excited for that. I personally like contouring, but I feel like bronzing definitely kind of took over. So the deepest shade in here, it looks like it will make a nice bronzer. So I'm going to go ahead and just take a little bit of that, and we'll just gently bronze up the face. Let's go ahead and go into the Exposed 2 blush palette. So I do have the Exposed 1, but this just looks so pretty. It has a little mirror, has 6 shades in it. I definitely think this one could be used as more of a highlighting shade, but let's go ahead and I think I am going to use a little bit of this matte kind of plum shade right here. And we'll try this. It's picking up nicely on the brush. Don't want to do too much because I don't know how pigmented it is. Seems relatively pigmented. It's nice. I like that a lot. Okay, let's go ahead and try lastly the highlighting palette. So there's also two, like a second one of these, but very large pans. Looks pretty. I think I'm gonna go into this shade right here. We'll try this. Nice mirror. It's very pigmented. You don't need a ton. Okay, so I think that looks decent. I think I went in with too much for sure. Just using that blush brush. I didn't dip back in or anything. Yeah, the highlighter palette is definitely very pigmented. You don't want to go in with too much. But I like this a lot. Very, very nice. So my thoughts about the Crown Brush makeup. I think it's decent. Oh, sorry, let me hurry up and pop on mascara. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Okay, so like I was saying, I think that the makeup from Crown Brush's website, I think it's pretty decent. eyeshadow palette was probably my least favorite. I felt like some of the shades weren't as pigmented as they looked in the pan. I think if you are using a good eyeshadow primer, some like glitter glue, you know, a sticky primer, I think it's going to be a lot better. But I don't think it's a bad eye look by any means. I think it looks nice. You can definitely build up the color. So the eyeshadow palette's probably my least favorite, for sure. I'm hoping the other eyeshadow palettes are a little bit better quality. The shimmer, you know, this gold shimmer probably was the most disappointing, as well as this shade right here. It wasn't as pigmented as it looks like in the pan, but I think it did a decent job for sure. I think it looks decent. The contouring and bronzing palette, I think is definitely worth the money. I think I spent like $5 or $6 on it. You get 10 different shades. It blended easily. At first it was looking a little splotchy to me, but I was able to blend it out. I really like the blush palette. I think the blush palette is really, really nice, very pigmented. Let me go ahead and show you what the exposed one looks like, just because the exposed 2 is the deeper of the two. I'm gonna lose all these boxes, just FYI. Sorry, you're gonna probably hear the noise. But this is the exposed one, so much lighter, definitely made for lighter skin tones. But the exposed 1 blush palette's still really pretty. The exposed 2 is a lot more bright, a lot more, you know, densely packed shades, I think. So I think they're both really, really nice. Obviously I used this shade right here and I was able to get it blended out. It's not too dark, so I think even if you do have a lighter skin tone, I think you would still be able to definitely use the exposed 2 blush palette. I definitely think my favorite is the highlighting palette. I feel like this is supposed to be a dupe for the ABH like highlighter palettes. Between like the size of them, you know, I think that's what they're trying to do. This is extremely pigmented. You don't need a lot. I mean, yeah, you definitely want to go in with a light hand. I definitely used too much, but if you are a highlighter lover, I think you'd really like this. They are really, really pretty. Like I said, they do have a second palette that is definitely for deeper skin tones, so I do like that. I feel like a lot of affordable drugstore, whatever you want to call them, brands, they're definitely not making like 2 varieties, one for, you know, light, fair, and then medium to dark. But I do notice that the stuff on Crown Brush's website, if it is a face palette, it usually comes in multiple shades, which I think is really, really good. But that highlighting palette is stunning. I mean, I was able to get this blended out, but just the smallest amount and you'll be set. So all in all, I think that the Crown Brush makeup, I'm definitely talking more on their, you know, discount clearance section. I definitely think it's worth the money. Just maybe go in prepared. Maybe the eyeshadow palettes aren't going to be as pigmented as you'd be expecting, but they do have a lot of really pretty ones. But like I said, I think a good eyeshadow base, and I just used concealer and powder. I didn't use a good eyeshadow base, but I think a good eyeshadow base would definitely help the eyeshadows work better. So all in all, I think it's a good place to go and check out their clearance makeup, and you can get some really good stuff. I got the like blush and like the highlighting palette for like $3, so definitely worth the money. And I think was able to create a really pretty look using extremely affordable makeup. So anyway, there we go. I hope you did enjoy today's video. If you did, please go and give the video a thumbs up and share it. Let me know down below in the comments if you've tried any of Crown Brush's makeup. What did you think of it? I would love to know down below. And of course, you're welcome to follow me on my social media, Facebook and Instagram. It's at Budget Glam Babe. Don't go anywhere quite yet. Another video should start autoplaying here very shortly, or you can always click on one of the ones that will be popping up around the screen. But yeah, I'll see you here in just a sec.